Hey everyone, this is Renee Frey from Talent Q, and you're listening to the Conscious Professional Podcast. More people than ever want to be happy in their career and personal life, but they're going about it all wrong. I'm here to set the record straight and emphasize the importance of prioritizing your mindset. I'm thrilled you're here. Last week, we dove into job offer negotiations and why you should never accept the first offer on the table. We explored how job offer signals that the company wants you. They want to hire you, which means the negotiation power shifts to your hands. And with that leverage, simply asking for what you want often leads to getting it. If you missed that quick yet powerful, info-packed episode, I highly recommend going back to catch it. It's packed with tips that you can use right away. This week, we're going to shift gears. Instead of negotiating a new job offer outside of your company, I'm talking about how to successfully ask for and negotiate a raise within your current company. There are times where you might find yourself in a situation where you really enjoy your job. You feel aligned with the company you work for. You love the people you work with. You really don't want to leave the company, but the only thing that's missing is you just want to be paid more. Now, we all know if you job hop or you change jobs, you can expect to get at least a minimum of a 10% pay increase in your compensation. Companies are paying you for taking a risk. They're paying you for your experience that you're bringing to the table. They're paying you more to entice you away from your current employer and come join them. If you've discovered my program Focus, the quickest and most effective way to land a new job, you know that my clients who have enrolled in the system are using cutting-edge techniques to maximize their salaries and on average getting a 40% raise when switching jobs. I've had countless people achieve this with my system. If you'd like to learn more about that, you can find the link in the show notes so you can go check it out too. For those of you planning to stay with the same company long term, you likely are aware that annual merit increases typically range from just 2 to 4% at best. But we stay at companies not just for the money. We stay because we love our boss. We love what we're doing. We jive with the company culture. And we have awesome coworkers. Asking for a raise at your current company may sound much simpler to you than finding a new job outside of your company. Or you may be thinking in the other camp, just the thought, you might be thinking and feeling terrified of the thought of approaching your boss and asking for a raise. You might need to channel some Renee Frey confidence to get her done. Trust me though, it can actually be done. And actually, let me let you in on a little secret. Companies would rather have you let them know what you want versus quitting to go to another company just for a pay raise. When you resign or quit your job, the expense the company incurs of replacing you is so high. According to SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management, they estimate it costs 50 to 60% of your salary to replace you. That's a lot of money. It's so expensive. It's way cheaper for them to give you a raise and retain you as the great employee you are. It's way easier in the long run for you too because you know the company. You know how to get work done. You know who to collaborate with to accomplish projects. You have existing relationships, a reputation, and a wealth of knowledge. There's risk involved in changing companies. When you begin working at another company, you have to learn how the business operates and learn all the different facets of the business. You don't know how work gets done. You're the new kid on the block, so you have to build relationships and learn the culture. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes that challenge can be an exciting one and a very breath of fresh air. But in reality, when you compare the two, staying or leaving the company, if you enjoy your current position and company, it's definitely less stressful and easier to stay there and muster up the courage to ask for a raise than it is to leave and look for a new job. When I worked at Target Corporation, I remember feeling this exact way. I loved my job. I loved the company. I loved my colleagues. But I remember, although I was a great performer and I had awesome performance reviews, I got small merit increases year over year. I think one year it was 3%. Too small. No, I wasn't happy with that. I wanted to get paid more money. I wanted a raise. So what did I do? I negotiated a raise. Let me tell you, it wasn't that simple. Would you like to know how long it took me to get the raise after numerous conversations and keeping it alive? It took me a whole fucking year. By that time, merit increases were about to roll around again. My goodness. And I'm not a patient person. So are you all at the edge of your seats wondering how I did it and why the hell it took 1 year? I'm going to tell you. There were two things I had to have to kick this off. One was having the courage to ask for a raise. Check. And I'm confident AF, so I have no problem asking for what I want. Then I had to have a plan of attack. First, I had to sit back, think about my approach, build my strategy, and how I was going to strategically ask for this raise. I did this by communicating how I felt to my boss. I wasn't whiny or arrogant. I kept my emotions out of it and brought straight facts, homie. I gathered my metrics, my performance reviews, the biggest accomplishments that I had made, the areas where I had made an impact on the company. And I brought all that supporting data and I created a story. Scheduled a meeting with my manager. I had specific bullet points written down in front of me in case I got nervous and forgot, and I had all my data with me. I practiced it beforehand and I ran through what I was going to say because I wanted to remain emotionally neutral. And when I met with my boss, I remember being a little nervous, but I didn't let that stop me. I remembered I deserve to ask for what I want. I deserve to give Target a chance to retain me as an employee by giving me a raise. So what I did, I met with my leader and I communicated my story and what I had planned to say. And my manager was so supportive and was in total agreement with me. That's when the process began. She informed me periodically of the progress that she was making behind the scenes. Now, Target Corporation is a huge, giant Fortune 500 company. Sometimes to get things done, it takes a lot of time at big companies. I was completely understanding of that. But finally, 1 year later, it happened and I got a raise. I did it. Do you know how excited I was when that happened? I was over the moon. I'll never forget when my boss delivered the great news with me. After, she shared what took so long that my raise needed SVP approval. We're talking Senior Vice President of Human Resources. The highest level leader in human resources at a Fortune 30 company had to approve my raise. Personally, I thought that was absurd. The SVP didn't know who the hell Renee Frey was. I'm sure she didn't. It was so worth the wait, and afterward, I was so incredibly proud of myself for stepping up and asking for a raise. If you don't ask, you'll never get. So what's holding you back from asking for a pay raise at your company if you want one? I want you to grab your cell phone, open up your photo app like you're going to take a selfie. See who you're looking at right now? Yourself. You are the only thing holding you back from asking for a raise. Take some of my courage. Borrow some of my confidence. Know that if it happened for me, it can happen for you too. All it takes is for you to take action and the first step and ask. I know you've got this. I believe in you. Life is too short not to ask for what you want. So go put yourself out there and do it. So the key points from today's episode are: the first step to getting a raise is having the courage to ask for it. Negotiating a raise requires preparation and a solid plan of action. Before looking for a job outside of your company, weigh the pros and cons to determine if staying might be the better choice. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Share this episode with someone you love and go make one change to be better than you were yesterday. Live your life with intention. I believe in you. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible. So if you would, please hit the follow button so we can grow our community of conscious professionals. Whether you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find the button at the top of the page. See you next week, everybody. Cheers.